Hi everyone, this is Sam12 here coming at you with a new video, and today we're doing something different because one, there's a specific ship that I wanted to visit, and two, there's also another event that is also going on. And nevertheless, some of you guys may be wondering, like, where are we at the moment? So currently we're actually in Alameda, in which Alameda is actually an island city, or some people will call it an island in particular, and it's quite debatable. But nevertheless, Alameda is also well known for some of the things. One, for instance, is the Victorian houses. Two, it's also for the naval base, in which Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy DeLittle was actually the one who was able to lead the Tokyo raid, and in some aspects it was successful, and which led to a morale boost in particular. And one little known fact, or something that I just recently discovered, was that Vin Diesel was actually born here. And some of you who don't know who's Vin Diesel is actually one of the actors from the Fast and Furious movies, and which I'm pretty impressed by in some aspects. And I didn't even know that in the first place. But nevertheless, and as we can see here or within the surrounding areas, while using the director's view, this is actually where one of our Alameda Ferries facilities also located, and some of the other ships, including some of the Air Museum. And some of you guys may be wondering, like, why some of the people are like dressing up in cosplay and so forth. So let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, as you guys can see here, this is the USS Hornet CV-12, in which was originally named as the Kearsarge. But then after the CV-8 Hornet in particular, that was sunk during World War II in the Battle of Santa Cruz, they changed it out in honor of the name of the CV-8 in particular. And interestingly enough, there was actually 8 Hornets involved in terms of the naval history. The very first one was actually in 1775. That was issued by the U.S. Continental Congress in particular. And nevertheless, if I'm not mistaken, this one is actually, the CV-12 is actually 872 feet, and the CV-8 in particular was 824 feet. I will quickly correct that if I'm wrong a little bit later, because right now, as you guys can see here, is actually a bit starting to pick up the rain, or as the weather forecast, it was actually stated that there was a light possible chance of thunderstorms in particular. So that's why I was a little bit iffy about the situation when filming this. But nevertheless, I still find it quite intriguing at the very end of the day, and just to see how incredibly huge this aircraft carrier is, no matter what the history is. And interestingly enough, it was later on donated over here by the organization, the aircraft organization themselves, and so forth, based on what I've read so far from Wikipedia in particular. But nevertheless, this is one heck of a ship that I will always remember. And let's go ahead and get right inside, because it's starting to pick up, or the rain is starting to pick up. All right, catch you all a little bit later. All right, so as we just entered in past this interesting sculpture, most of the time what people would first do is they would actually come here to this specific area to watch a lecture, I suppose, about the history of the Hornets itself. And it is a pretty interesting session, so definitely don't miss out on that one. And over here we can see like multiple aircraft or aircraft displays over here. And on the right hand side over here is F1 for a Tomcat, which looks pretty epic, along with this SH-2F Sea Sprite helicopter right here. Still looks epic as well. And apparently, what I've never noticed down here in this hangar deck is actually this specific elevator. This is an elevator platform if we look right by the vertical beam right here, this is, from what I'm understanding, is that this lift goes down to the flight deck platform, comes to the hangar platform over here. They'll bring the specific aircraft that they want to into this specific elevator platform, and it goes back up. And try not to get hit by the aircraft display right here. And over here, this is the more information as to what the elevator one does, and also the diagram. And going a little bit further down, apparently this is the HUP-1 or the rescue helicopter, from what I'm understanding, because based on that rescue sign right there. And now we're going to the major source, or the major place of the convention itself. Aside from that BF-154 right here, which still looks pretty cool. And of course, there's a bunch of cosplays around here. That's what the CarrierCon is about. And just in case if you guys want some sort of memorabilia to take home with you, guys are coming from an international side, then this is the store right here. We got some.
My nephew loves Pokemon Go. I was playing the grown-up version.
Apparently, his name is
It's called Tinder.
Some of you guys might be wondering, like, what is going on with
They
this
say you
one.
gotta catch them all, but all I call was
for a
feelings.
specific gift that they're trying to purchase.
Alright, let's get my cosplay.
Yeah, and the food over here is quite expensive. And on the right side, you can see this is the helicopter, the USS PSG. No, this is the SH-3HC helicopter. On the left-hand side, this is apparently the NASA mobile quarantine facility that they used, if I'm not mistaken, during the Apollo 11 landing. So yeah. This just a little bit more information on it. And as we continue further down, look here, look at this, the Apollo block and module. That's where they landed the Apollo landing. And this is where the main source is at. All the anime gift stores, I suppose, or gift vendors. That's what I meant to say, gift vendors. And it's quite a variety of them, not gonna lie. And I'm seeing more of like Star Wars cosplays, and also a variety of kind, I suppose, in the process. And over here, these are the current displays that they were able to restore. And I believe further down, that's where further restoration is going to be located at. So yeah. Alright, so as you guys can see here, we're kind of like heading over to the flight deck in particular. And this is over here in particular on my right hand side. These are the restoration aircraft that they're trying to do, in particular the last time I recollect. But nevertheless, if I recall correctly, well, beforehand, I think you can just quickly go outside. And over here in particular, this is usually where the I suppose the crew would usually hang out, just for lunch breaks in particular. But also there's some StarCraft or Star Wars, I suppose, cosplays in particular, which I was kind of unaware. Well, given that this is a cosplay convention on an aircraft carrier, it kind of makes sense. So we'll just have to see how it will pan out. Now, it's been quite a while since we actually went up to the flight deck, and that was like maybe
I might go back
4 or 5 months ago, I want to say, per se. But nevertheless, it is something to consider about. And I think what I can see ahead of me is actually where it'll be at, because I think the last time, if I recall correctly, if we were just to straight down, there will be a way upstairs in particular, and I think, let me just go ahead and, okay, so that's the Apollo, and I believe there should be a doorway that allows you to go in. But yes, I think I see it. See the light. Okay, you just go ahead and right about here. So it's actually close by the exit. So over here, you just gotta be a little bit careful, because given the stairways is pretty steep, or pretty, oh my goodness, pretty small, I would say. And you have to do this like at least 2 times. So just be careful when you're getting up here. Oh wait, looks like, oh it's not. Okay, I guess looks like the flight deck was actually closed out. So I guess looks like there is no way to get up. Oh man, that's kind of sad. So based on my understanding, flight deck is kind of turned around in particular, so looks like we won't be able to get that nice view, or that strange U-turn. Okay, it's kind of dangerous, I gotta admit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see what we can do about it. Okay, so apparently after just asking some of the staff members around here, we actually have to go around 3 other ladders in particular, and of course it's kind of a risky way of doing it. Just trying to hang on tight. Holy snap, wow, this is a pretty narrow path around here. Just gotta watch your head as well. So yeah, okay, we're actually gonna make it through. Legit. Finally we'll make it through to this very day. Wow. Holy snap. Now this is what we've been waiting for this whole time. And right here, as you can see here, is the bay area itself. This is what we're talking about. It's one heck of a view that some people can get only on this ship itself, which is the USS Hornet. And normally for the events in particular, they will usually have it for New Year's or New Year's Eve or even July 4th event. But after the COVID situation occurred, they basically shut it down for the public. But nevertheless, later on, they kind of reopened it back, and especially for such big events like the CarrierCon, which happened today on March 19, 2022, it was, I would have to say, is pretty successful, not gonna lie. And just to, if we just can, oh, we can't zoom in unfortunately, but this, maybe we can just like run up a little bit further in, and yes, we can actually see a bit more. I wish I could zoom in a bit more on this one so that you guys can get a better view of what San Francisco is like in particular. But from this point of view, we get a good glimpse of it, I suppose, quote unquote. Now, for those that are planning to come here internationally, I suppose. Like, let's say arriving through SFO, and SFO is roughly straight in this direction ish, where there's like there's some massive cargo ships nearby there. Now, the best way to actually get here, which also I will provide the USS Hornet's link below, is you would basically want to take the Berryessa train or the Richmond train. The Berryessa train will take you all the way down to Lake Merritt, and then you can take a bus 96 in particular, which will reach all the way down at the very end over there. In particular, that will be the very last bus stop where the new townhomes or new businesses are located. Or you can take the 51A. 51A is going to drop you off by Webster Street, and then you're going to have to at least walk at least 20 to 30 minutes. The third alternative option is to take the Alameda Sea Ferry, or the seaplane ferry, quote unquote. You want to check their schedule as well, because their schedule will vary during the weekends in particular. But weekdays is much more preferred if you prefer a light crowded area, quote unquote, or light crowded environment. So yeah, that's only when you're traveling from SFO to the USS Hornet. But if you're actually planning to go from the Oakland airport, they will have a air bus or a little bit of an air train in particular that'll take you all the way down to the to Fairpoint, or there was like there's a specific midsection area in which you can then take the Richmond train or the SFO train, Millbrae train, all the way up to the Millbrae train would take you all the way up to 12th Street and Broadway. You can take the bus 51A or the bus 96. Preferably bus 96 would take you all the way down to over to the townhomes as we just mentioned earlier, and then you can just walk for at least 5 to 10 minutes over to the USS Hornet, and you're just gonna have and not gonna lie, you're gonna have a pretty good blast. As you can see, all the new setups that they have that you just recently seen so far, and of course this lovely view of the Bay Area itself. And this is what we're talking about here. This is somewhere you can't get, or a view that you can't get up on the flight deck as well. So there's nowhere else that I can think of, only except for the USS Hornet itself. So nevertheless, I'll go ahead and see you guys a little bit down into the below decks. So stay tuned. Alright, so I actually figured out another way to get it to zoom in. So here's a better view of the San Francisco Bay Area itself. So, and yeah, this is a slightly better zoomed in view of the surrounding settings. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it in some aspects. Alright, so as you guys can see here, this is actually where the center control is at. And I also forgot to mention about like some of their aircraft that they have right here, which based on this one in particular, we just had to like look around the area, and I think, oh wait, we can just like go ahead and dive underneath here. And this is what you could say, or this is what we call it as the T288 Navy plane. I believe there's a better name for it, but oh my bad, this is a T28B. That's what it says clearly on there. But nevertheless, let's just go ahead and head straight. Holy crap. We just quickly get out of people's way in particular. And over here at the very end, this is where I suppose the iconic plane that's usually placed or displayed here on the USS Hornet in particular. And that's the one right in front of us. So we're gonna go ahead and try to head straight down to there. And I know you guys are probably gonna get a little bit dizzy here because of all the hand movements and so forth. So we'll do our best to at least keep it at a steady motion at the moment. So right here, this is the Navy BS-31, and interestingly enough, it's actually quite, I wonder if it's operational, not gonna lie, that is gonna be something that the crew can probably explain, but or probably some of the people who are more familiar with these planes in particular. Oh, CDR John Stowe fan. Interesting. Pretty large propeller or large engine, and nevertheless, this is also the other side of the view that I forgot to show. Right across from here, from Alameda, is Oakland, or the port of Oakland, and then the downtown Oakland. And yeah, and down south is where you're gonna see San Leandro and the rest of the other cities. But yeah, this is the other half of the ship's view, so in case you guys ever want to check it out. So yeah, so as you guys can see here, this is actually where the flight deck control room is at, and this is the place where they control, or consider this as like an air control area, where people would here in this specific room would communicate with the pilots as to where they can land their planes and etc. From my basic understanding, I mean, there's probably more to it already than a BCI, but nevertheless, as we can see here, these are quite an ancient dial phone, which I haven't seen for a long time, not gonna lie. And over here, we can actually still get a pretty interesting view on the outside of the flight deck, so you can actually just still see like what's the situation going on within the flight deck and etc. So yeah, and as we're gonna go down here, this is where, oh, sorry about that. We're just gonna go ahead and I believe head downstairs.
I wouldn't go that way.
No, bro. Wait, yeah. I thought that it was gonna be. Oh yeah, this kind of interesting. Okay, so apparently we're currently blocked for a moment, and we're just waiting out until we can actually head downstairs, and hopefully we can now head downstairs. Yes, mission accomplished. All right, so this is also where the I kind of forgot to mention about how like CB-12 Hornet actually was able to pick up the Apollo 11 crew when they first landed, and this is a pretty interesting poster, not gonna lie. So yeah, this is where we're gonna be heading down to the main floor in the first deck. Over here, as we can see here, this is the second deck that we're going to, and I'm trying to find a quick way down. Trying to be steadily careful on this one. And apparently on the right side over here is actually where the chapel room is located. Oh, it's not. Wow. That's kind of interesting. Pretty ancient, not gonna lie. Just to see the surrounding area. This is I suppose the traditional way of setting up the chapel, and also the library, I guess. And it's actually not too bad. Still preserved quite well, and I suppose this is like the private chapel room, I suppose. I don't know. This is something that I need to we'll probably have to look into. And then, as we can see here, we're kind of like browsing around in this area, and holy snap, wonder what's down there. Foam liquid concentration. What is this? chemicals going on. Apparently, oh, this is where the bunk beds are located, or where they slept, I suppose. And look at this. Looks like this is where they prepare all their equipment, etc. And holy snap! Wow, look at this. This is oh, this is the naval uniforms that were worn, I suppose, by women in particular. So, and of course over here, this is the restricted area, and over here, this is the exit. Oh wait, there's actually like something a little bit further down here. Oh, interesting. A lot of the USN foam liquid concentrate barrels are around here, and all the fire main or a lot of the valves for controlling the water, I suppose, and so forth. Dang, I feel like you can easily get lost here. Oh, this is interesting. Never really explored this side. This is actually something new that I've actually explored. And interestingly enough, they show a variety different type of knots on this one, and a lot of pulley systems. And I think that's the, if that is, I'm not mistaken. Oh, this is a magnetic field table. Okay. I thought this was like a signal mirror of some sort that they use for communicating. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and a little bit further down to see what's going on. And oh, these are more of the bunk beds over here. Interesting. Okay. Or the living conditions, let's just put it that way. Or bunk beds on a ship in comparison to barracks. And here are all the all the last Marine detachment to serve aboard the USS Hornet. Huh, interesting. Pretty cool. Whoa, what is that?
Now hear this, now hear this. Photo track B is now open from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. This will be up the ladders in the O2 level, including the combat information center and various full passageway. I repeat, photo track B is now open from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Please see 7.
And some of you may be wondering, like, where the firearms are located. Apparently these are all locked up, but yeah, this is the firearms room in front of you. Nope, no one knows the code here. And this is also another area where people used to live. Oh, this is the NCOs. Okay, I didn't realize that. And I suppose the M1 poster right there in front of us is a good way of motivating those to take action rather than just to say it. And interestingly enough, this is the, I suppose, the little break room, I suppose, for the NCOs. Interesting. Pretty legit. Alright, so here we are at. Okay, so over here, as we can see in this room, this is actually a place dedicated to the VF-11, or the Air Group 11 group, where at least 105 enemy planes shot down, 272 planes destroyed, and over 100,000 tons of enemy shipping were sunk, as mentioned over here in this placard in particular. And interestingly enough, they only lost 60 men in the process, and only a little bit over 50 aircraft in particular. And over here, these are all the different type of uniforms that they have posted. Apparently, based on this graph itself right here, the number 7, which is located right by this light blue uniform, is actually where the POW uniform to distinguish the cells in particular when they're prisoner of war, and all the different typical uniforms that they have. And these are quite of a fascinating display of what they used to have and what they wore in particular, and the history behind each specific pilots that fought in this specific war during the Battle of the Guadalcanal and more. So yeah, so as you guys can see here, this is actually where the officers can purchase like snacks and other entertainment in particular. If we just go ahead and view from the inside where the cards are located, and also other chocolate or snacks are located. And apparently this is considered a luxury during that time, and I didn't realize it. And I think nowadays we kind of take it for granted for certain things, especially if we're on board a naval ship or naval aircraft carrier. And some of the luxury items, as we can see here, are like Camel cigarettes, Charleston Chew, something that I never heard of, Sky Bar, and something else I couldn't really see. But over here we can see some of the Colgate. Wow, okay, that's pretty ancient, not gonna lie. And they have the bicycle cards, which they'll probably play blackjack or some sort, or even poker, and also dominoes too. So yeah. Alright guys, looks like this is gonna be the end of the route, quote unquote, or the end of the road for this brief video tutorial, or video tour in particular. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this. Holy shoot, almost tripped on that one. Oh well. But yeah, so rain seemed to have stopped for momentarily, and we were able to explore most of the convention. Not gonna lie, I wish there was a little bit more booths out there, because I remember there was a time when I went to the San Jose convention. Holy snap, it was like the whole entire area was like filled with the booths itself. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. Forgot about apparently there was a car right behind me. But nevertheless, I know within this video itself there was a lot of head shakings and so forth, so sorry about that in particular. But still, I hope you guys enjoyed this virtual experience, as well as like a little bit of a historical background as to what the USS Hornet is about, CV-12. And at the same time, this is I think also, I remember there was also like one of the questions that some of you may be also wondering, I suppose, since I was in the anime convention, is like, what is your favorite anime? So my most favorite anime is Shield Hero in particular, and of course when I was younger, starting from Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, then finally later on Attack on Titan, because some of my friends introduced me to it. But nevertheless, that was about it, honestly speaking. And not gonna lie, it's also pretty hard to talk with this mask on, and also there was a lot of how should I put it, there was a lot of loud voices involved. Loud voices as in like people using microphones who are shouting in the very background. So, but nevertheless, this may be my first, actually this is my first, and I don't know if this will be my last. But if you guys have some ship suggestions that you guys wanted to see, just leave on the comment section below, and hopefully one day I'll be able to travel there as well. So yeah, nevertheless, God bless each and every one of you, and hope you guys have a nice rest of the day. Peace out from December 12th. So guys, this is actually bonus course. Airforce? I don't know what you call it, but man, this is actually a functioning R2D team, which I'm actually kind of surprised to be honest. You don't even have to go to this event to actually get involved into it, and you really see a functioning one that actually moves. But at first, it was actually making these interesting like engine noises, and like it's something that I would. Wow, that kind of. I don't know, like, it sometimes kind of freaks me out that it actually works. But, wow. Although I'm not really into Star Wars, but still, this is one piece of art or one piece of craft that I would be quite astonished, especially when I'm seeing it like with me as well. So yeah, and over here, apparently this is like a
second best, second
celebration that they had.
Who even are you?
At least
Where do you like your own show?
4 or 5 people showed up in the process, so
Your show has
that was something that was a bit, it felt more like a roast battle in particular, so sometimes the events over here can be a bit kind of a
so before you come to battle and try to talk about experience
so
and
at first
service,
it was
at
like
least
a stand-up, like
at least you can measure up
like
to the person you're trying to fight against.
Now
because last I checked, I'm still the Anything Goes champion. You still ain't stole this from me, and you still ain't leaving with it either.
That's basically mostly about it for what we did today. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this.